Hello everyone. So last time we received a comment saying that it would be better if we try teaching English in English rather than including Tigrinya. It would force our listeners to communicate and speak more in English so that they would improve their English way faster. So we're going to try it now, okay? We have been teaching English with Tigrinya, but today I'm going to try to speak completely in English. I'm going to wait on you to comment whether it's useful or not, whether it's helpful or whether we should continue or go back to our old ways. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to tell you the shortcut to mastering English, because learning English is very easy. Technically speaking, it's even easier than Tigrinya, and I even tried learning Arabic. It's way easier than language that I personally tried. So what do we need to know if we need to learn English very fast? So in order to know the basics, we only need to know two things, okay? This is all we need. This represents the subject. This represents the verb. So what is a subject and what is a verb? If we can know this, we can speak English. Trust me, it's very easy, okay? These are the basics. Once we know this, it's very easy to build up the longer sentences and the more complicated ones. But if we can know the basics, the simple sentences, what does this represent is the first question. S represents the subject of a sentence. And V represents the verb of the sentence. Using these two words, I can make a whole complete sense or a complete sentence. Let me try this one. I read. This is a full sentence. Okay? This is a complete sentence. It makes a complete sense, and anyone who hears me saying this would understand what I'm trying to say. I read. This is a complete sentence. The subject is I, the verb is read. So what is a subject? A subject is the person or the thing you're talking about. That's it. And the verb is what is that person or that thing doing. So if you can figure these both two out, that means you can make a complete sense or a complete sentence. Then what you can build up from this is very easy. So let's start with this. What is the subject first? Or how can we know all the things we need within the subject? Okay? Subject can be written in two forms. The first one is the noun. The second one is the pronoun. So what is a noun? Okay? A noun is the name of anything. Abel, Sanai, Sarah, a dog, a table, a chair, whatever the name of the thing we're talking about is what we call the noun. So I don't need to explain this, because if you are talking about Abel, you will start by Abel. If you are talking about Sarah, you will start the sentence by Sarah. If I'm talking about a car, I can start the sentence by saying the car. So this doesn't need any kind of explanation. Okay? This, however, needs a little bit of explanation, but it's very easy, because there are 7 words here that represent everything in the world. 8 billion people, all the cars, all the dogs, all the houses, anything you can possibly think of can be represented by 7 words. That's it. The font is a little bit small, but we have videos for it, so you can go and check it out. We will leave you a link in the description. But these 7 words right here, I, we, you, he, she, it, and they. Any sentence we can think of can start using one of these 7 words. They are known as pronouns, and they are words used to replace a noun. Instead of saying Abel, I can say he. Instead of saying Sarah, I can say she. Instead of saying the dog, I can say it. Instead of saying Abel and Sarah, I can say they. Instead of saying my brother and I can say we. So these words or any name here can be used as a subject. So that means we are done. 50% of the sentence is done because it's subject. Now let's proceed to the verb. Okay, verbs can be written in 2 forms as well. Okay, they can be helping verbs. They can also be main verbs. So what is a verb? I already told you. That means a word describing what someone or something is doing. Okay, so for instance, if I say read, it's a verb. It's a main verb. If I say play, eat, sleep, whatever action it is can be represented by the main verb. So all you need to do is learn words here. That's it. The more words you know, the more actions or the more things you can describe. The little complication is here, the helping verbs. So what are helping verbs exactly? So there are words, they don't look like they are significant, but once you make a mistake there, the sentence can totally have another meaning. So let's try it here. Okay, so as you can see here, the helping verbs are very easy. Okay, is, are, they are one group. Let's consider them as one family. The second group is do, does, or did. The third one is modals, like can, must, should, shall, whatever. There are a lot of modals. So if we are able to combine the subject and the helping verb with the main verb, we have our sentence. And if we are going to speak, if we are going to write, we write in sentences, we speak in sentences. Okay, so now we'll look at some examples. The first one is I read. I read. I'm talking about myself, so the subject is I. And what am I doing? I read. So I read and I am reading. There are two different sentences. They have the same subject and the same verb, but there's a little bit of difference here. Okay? I read, I am reading. I read means I read books or whatever it is on a regular basis. Not necessarily every day, maybe once a week, maybe every night, it doesn't matter, but I do it on a regular basis. It's something that continues once in a while, every day, once a week. It really doesn't matter. But this one says I am reading. So I am reading now. Okay? So there are changes in the form of the verb, but the basic idea does not change. There's always subject, there's always a verb, and there is always a helping verb in between. Okay? So you might be asking, where is the helping verb for this one? Okay? There is always a helping verb, but we don't commonly use this one when we are talking about simple present. We don't say I do read, we simply say I read because it's understandable. But for emphasis, we add it sometimes. If I ask someone, do you read books? Yes, I do read books. He's emphasizing. But we can leave it and put it in. It really doesn't make a difference. The idea is there is a subject, there is a helping verb, and there is a main verb. And that's how you construct a sentence in English. That's it. Once you know this order, you can speak any sentence you want. You can write any sentence you want. So this is for everyday occasions. This is for something you're doing now. We'll look at two other examples, okay? The third example is this one. I will read. This is my subject. This is my verb, okay? I will read, and this is my helping verb. As I told you, modals are also helping verbs. Can, must, should, will, they are all known as modals, and they are considered as helping verbs. So whatever sentence I make, I only need three things: my subject, my helping verb, and my main verb, and I got my sentence. The past is this one, I read. So the same thing here. Read is the verb of read. This is an irregular verb, that's why it's not changing. But the way we pronounce it changes. We say I read. For example, I read a book yesterday. This is my subject. This is my verb in its second form. My verb in past form. So I read. Where is the helping verb? There is a word here. Did you read a book yesterday? And you can answer, yes, I did read a book. But since it's obvious and it's understandable, we just leave it out and say, yes, I read a book. So whatever sentence we make, all we need is three things: the subject, the person or thing we're talking about, the helping verb, and the main verb, talking about what they are doing. Okay? So this was just a trial run. If teaching English in English is helpful, especially for Tigrinya speakers, because our channel its purpose is to teach people who speak Tigrinya and help them in speaking, reading, writing in English. So we will need your comment for this one. Leave a comment if this was helpful or if you understood everything I said. If this is useful, we will continue using the same technique, but if it's not, we will try to go back to our old ways and translate things in Tigrinya. So we'll wait for your comments. Thank you so much. See you guys on the next one.